Good morning, and this one's going to be an interesting one because normally my channel is all about gaming, but today you can probably tell from the title that I'm actually going to be talking about Doctor Who. And I'm not scripting this one or anything, not even really working from notes, so I'm just going to wrap off the top of my head. And to start with, on Sunday after the tennis, we got the announcement that the new Doctor Who is going to be a Womble. No, the new Doctor Who is going to be a woman. Not a Womble, a woman. Now, if the new Doctor Who was going to be a Womble, then we could probably have something to moan about. But in this instance, actually, no, it's a woman. And why are people getting their panties in a pickle over Doctor Who being a woman? Your guess is as good as mine, to be frank. I haven't got a clue. I have no idea at all why anybody is getting their panties in a pickle, but quite a few people are. I've just had a brief look through YouTube and there's all sorts of people getting annoyed and upset about the fact that Doctor Who is going to be a woman, or the Doctor is going to be a woman, if I'm going to say it properly. I'm saying Doctor Who because when you go looking for it, if you put the Doctor, you just get a load of stuff on medical conditions and whatnot. So, I think that maybe some of the people who are commenting may have a medical condition or at least a psychiatric condition. Now, let me be clear here. I'm not some SJW, and I've made criticisms of people like Anita Sarkeesian in the past. So I'm not coming from the far left here. I'm just some guy who likes Doctor Who. And the reason I like Doctor Who is it's a varied and interesting programme with lots of diverse and very interesting characters. And I'm not using diverse in a heavily weighted sense. I just mean there's lots of different types of people who've been in the show over the years. So again, don't get your panties in a pickle, please. All right. But I looked through YouTube and I saw that a lot of people were moaning, and I listened to the radio the other day on Monday just after it had been announced, and all sorts of people were saying all sorts of stupid crap. And most of them, it has to be said, are people who know nothing about Doctor Who. Now, I have to come clean here. I'm not an uber fan of Doctor Who. But I have watched it for years, and I would say that I've probably watched every episode of Doctor Who since probably the early 80s. You know, ever since I was a kid, I've been watching Doctor Who, and I've watched most of John Pertwee's Doctor Who. Yeah, I have. I've watched most of Tom Baker's Doctor Who. I've watched most of Colin Baker's Doctor Who, and even Sylvester McCoy and Peter Davison when it was utterly crap. And since it's been rebooted, I've watched every episode. And thoroughly enjoyed most of them. And as with all programmes, some episodes are better than others and some story arcs are better than others. But generally speaking, it's been very high quality. But a lot of the people commenting, as I say, don't seem to have a clue what they're commenting on. And there was a guy on the radio on Monday who was coming out with stuff about Time Lords not being women. And it was something along the line of... It's a lord. It's a lord. Lords aren't women, are they? They're lords, they're men. It's not a time lady, is it? He's a time lord. He's not sitting there doing his knitting, is he? He's a time lord. He's a lord, not a lady. Ladies are women. Lords are men. And shit like this. And it got even worse when you get online and you start watching, some of the videos and some of the crap that people are coming out with about it being an SJW conspiracy. And let's be clear here, Doctor Who has always been a fairly left of centre programme. It's been fairly progressive in its approach to stories and to people. And, there's been all sorts of hints at the Doctor being a woman in the past. And if you actually look at canon, we've got all sorts of evidence to show that Time Lords have been women. Right back to the early days. You could even go so far as to say the very first Doctor had a female Time Lord. And the reason I say that is because the very first Doctor, played by William Hartnell, his companion was his granddaughter. Now, I don't know, maybe some of the people commenting don't understand genetics and don't understand evolution. I certainly wouldn't make a claim to being an expert on it, but I've always assumed that anybody who was the granddaughter of somebody any granddaughter or grandson of a person would be of the same species. I mean, call me crazy, but that's what I would assume. So Susan, who was the Doctor's first companion, was possibly a Time Lord. So the very first Doctor had a female Time Lord, if you just follow the logic. And then from there, we've had Romana, who was a Time Lord, and then a villain called Rani, who I've not come across, at least I don't remember. I've probably come across, but I don't remember Rani, but apparently she was a Time Lord. And if you go back to episodes that involve the Doctor going to Gallifrey, look at the Council of Gallifrey. Look at the Council of the Time Lords. Guess what? There's women sat on the Council of the Time Lords. Sacrilege! You can't be a Time Lord if you're a woman. It's a lord, not a woman. Yeah, well, the Time Lords have got women because Time Lord isn't a title. Time Lord is a race. It's a species. So you can be a woman, you can be a man, and they regenerate. And it's long been established that they can regenerate into women. Even recently, we've had massive hints. Matt Smith checking his hair and saying, "Oh no, I'm a woman."
But I'm hair. I'm a girl. No, I'm not a girl.
So we were hinted there that, Doctor Who could change into a woman, or the Doctor could change into a woman. And then Missy. John Simm's character changing into Missy. So going from the Master, Doctor Who's nemesis, for you guys who've been complaining, don't actually know anything about Doctor Who, Doctor Who's nemesis, the Master, changed into Missy. And the Master at that point was played by John Simm, and the new Master or Missy was played by Michelle Gomez. So we already had it established that a Time Lord could change into a woman. And oh yeah, by the way, the Master is a Time Lord and Doctor Who's best friend. Just for you guys commenting about this being a left conspiracy. Because, I'm sorry, but get your thumb out your arse, frankly. It's not a left conspiracy. This is canon. This is part of what Doctor Who is. Honestly, I do not understand this nonsense. The fact of the matter is, as I have shown here, the Doctor has for many, many years hinted at the fact that she could be a woman. And, getting all upset and... sorry, but getting all upset about it is just pathetic, quite frankly. And on the other side of things, obviously, the people on the other side of the argument always want to get involved, and Anita Sarkeesian raised their head above the parapet and started saying that it was welcome, but it didn't go far enough. So, there's no satisfying some people on either side. As ever, the people on the extremes of the argument who probably know nothing about what they're talking about wade in and make comments and just stir up shit for no apparent reason. The fact is that Jodie Whittaker has got quite a good rep as an actress. I've not actually watched her in very much. I don't remember seeing her in very much because I didn't watch Broadchurch, so I can't really comment on her as an actor. But, over recent years, the people who cast the Doctor have made some pretty decent choices. I wasn't sure about Matt Smith in the first instance, but actually he turned out to be a fantastic Doctor. And Peter Capaldi was also brilliant. I mean, I already liked Peter Capaldi when he was cast, and I was really glad to hear that he was going to be cast as the Doctor. So I would imagine that Jodie Whittaker will probably do a good job. I have no issue with her being a woman. A woman. Oh no, it's a woman. She hasn't got a dick. Oh, what are we going to do? I personally, I couldn't care less about that. I don't care that she's a woman. I actually quite welcome the fact that she's a woman. I like the idea that they're changing up the story. It's not about, being a liberal thing or anything like that. I just think that it's a nice twist to the story. And as I say, they've been hinting at it for so long now, it was almost inevitable, really, let's be honest. Going on from that, though, if we're looking at the future and where the Doctor's going to go, whether we're going to be seeing, another woman in the future, I know people like Anita Sarkeesian want a one-legged black lesbian to play Doctor Who, but let's not go too crazy here. The fact is that we've got a diverse programme that is one of the most progressive programmes out there, and to get your panties in a pickle over it not being diverse enough is just bloody silly, frankly. So we can safely discard Anita Sarkeesian's opinion on this, as well as the it's a woman. Time Lords can't be a woman. It's a lord. It's a lord. As I said, it's a race, not a title. So moving forwards, after Jodie Whittaker, what might we see? Will we see another woman? Well, I don't really care whether we do or not. I don't have any particular interest in what they're going to do with it in that sense, as long as they do a good job and we get good actors, good stories, and so on and so forth. Personally, I was actually talking to my partner the other day and I said that one of the actresses I would like to see in the role. Can I say actress these days, or am I stepping over an SJW line? I don't know. Somebody will get pissed off with me for saying something, using the wrong word or whatever. But I would actually like to see somebody like Thandie Newton playing the Doctor in the future, because I've seen her in quite a few things and she's got such a diverse range. You know, she can play vulnerable, she can play tough, she can play a complete bitch. I just think she'd be fantastic in the part. The only problem there is I think that she's probably too big an actress already. I think she's already, beyond being somebody who would be hired to take on the role. But, that's well down the line in the future anyway. All we can do for now is wish Jodie Whittaker all the best, hope she gets some good storylines, and hope she carries off the part well. And as I said before, I've no doubt she will. So I'm looking forward to seeing where the story goes. And if you have a problem with that, you can fuck off, frankly. Because one way or another, if you're far to the right or far to the left and you've got an issue with this, then you just need to get your thumb out your arse and just enjoy the show, for crying out loud. And if you're not a fan of the show, why the hell are you commenting in the first place? Anyway, that's my opinion. I'm being very opinionated this morning. But, this is a show I've watched for many, many years. I do have a stake in that sense. Obviously, I'm not making the show, I'm just watching it. But I do have a stake in it in that sense. I actually met Tom Baker in my hometown when I was a kid, and I have a signed copy of a Doctor Who book. And I've still got it, and I think it's in the bookshelf in my boys' room. So that's my Doctor Who claim to fame. So yeah, I've been a fan of Doctor Who for many, many years. I'm not an uber fan, but I haven't got an axe to grind. And most of the people out there who are making comments about this, it seems, have got an axe to grind, and it's got nothing to do with Doctor Who. And as I said before, they can fuck off. Right, okay, I'm going to drink my coffee because I've got a coffee next to me, and I will speak to you in the next one. And that one will almost certainly be about games. So service will be resumed. And as I say, I'll speak to you in the next one. Bye.